Welcome to the Women Writing Podcast. I'm your book coach, Lisa Kovala. I'm a certified fiction and memoir book coach and the author of Like Water for Weary Souls, Sisters Winter War, and Surviving Struthof, and the Hygge House Nordic Cozy Mystery Series. As a Finnish Canadian, I also love my coffee. Take a coffee break with us as we chat about all things writerly with authors and publishing industry professionals. And don't forget to sign up for my Women Writing newsletter on Substack and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great content. In today's episode of Women Writing, I'm having a coffee break with Kim Lengling. If you spot someone walking through a field with a coffee mug in one hand and a dog leash in the other, it's probably Kim Lengling. A multi-published author, podcast host, and veteran, Kim is the voice behind Let Fear Bounce, sharing stories that prove hope is real and kindness matters. She's the lead author of 6 anthologies, including Paw Prints on the Kitchen Floor, and the author of Nuggets of Hope, Cultivate Kindness, and 15 Ways Pets Teach Us Kindness. When not writing or podcasting, Kim's with her dog Dexter, coffee in hand, soaking up nature's peace. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm great. So we were just chatting on your beautiful podcast, Let Fear Bounce, yesterday. So these are going to come out later and at different times, but it's just like, I feel like we're just continuing our conversation, which is so cool.
Yeah. And it was a fun one too. It was a fun
absolutely. For sure. So I have so many questions for you. I just have so fascinated by what you've been doing in the world and where you're headed. So, but I have to ask about how's Dexter?
Dexter's taking a nap right now.
Oh, I love Dexter. Okay. So Dexter, what kind of dog is it?
He is a Belgian Malinois Mastiff mix. I got him from the local Humane Society here. About 6 years ago. So he'll be, I think, this coming winter, next January, he'll be 9 years old. Pretty sure he'll be 9 years.
Love that. Amazing. So, I love it.
He has a recliner that's his. It is Dexter's chair.
Dexter's chair.
That sits facing the window because he always turns it that way.
Yes.
He's a big boy. And he is currently laying in the patch of sun coming in the window. And
amazing.
I'm like, that's just, you're living your best life right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just came home. I was had at a meeting and came home, and my Emmy, I still call her a puppy, but she's 3. And they're so delighted to see you. And then we went outside for a bit too, to sit in the sun because, you kind of have to learn from the dogs about how to just slow down, relax, take a minute, enjoy the sun. Play a little while.
That's right. So I did for lunch. I made a sandwich and I said, well, I'm going to sit on the back porch and eat my sandwich.
Yeah. Right.
And it was lovely because we have blue sky and sunshine here today for once.
Amazing. Yeah, exactly what we need. So I want to ask you questions about the work that you're writing. So I know that you write nonfiction. I know that you're also dabbling into fiction. We can talk about that after, but tell us about the kind of nonfiction you've been writing.
Nonfiction, the most recent is actually it's a book called Nuggets of Hope.
So
and good. I started the story behind this book probably 3 years ago now. And I'm a Christian, so I feel that when I'm nudged, that's coming from God. Right. And so I was seeing the word hope everywhere for weeks.
Yes.
And it was just literally everywhere. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And I had this very strong nudge saying, you're supposed to give hope. And I was at a time in my life that I wasn't very hopeful. It wasn't, I didn't want to go out and be nice to people,
Yes, right. Yeah. 100%.
I just want to stay in my house with my dog and don't people at all,
Yes.
And I was in one of those funks and it just kept coming and coming. I'm like, fine. So I remembered that I had gotten at a networking event when I lived in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Someone had handed out little packets of 6 cards, just little cards. And they had power, these, you're a rock star, you're great, you're awesome, stuff like that on them. And there's a little pack of 6. And I'm going, well, I have those. Maybe that could be, my little nugget of hope. I just kind of coined that phrase for myself.
Yeah.
And so I kept those in my purse, went to run errands one day and literally just dropped them. I put one in the motor with the motor oil. I put one in the pockets of a pair of jeans. I just put them wherever I felt like. And then they
Yeah.
were done. All six of them were handed out. Done. There you
Hmm.
go, big guy. I
Yeah.
handed out six little nuggets of hope. But then it became even more prevalent, the word hope. I mean, everywhere. Heard it, read it. It was on billboards, for goodness sake. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, and that's no lie. It's no exaggeration. It was crazy. And then I got this very firm nudge. You need to give hope. And it was so strong. And I'm
Mm.
like, I don't know what you mean by that,
Yeah.
you know? And then I realized it was you personally have to give it to a person.
Mm.
And that's when that hit me because the feeling was so strong. I was like, I don't want a people,
Please no.
you know? So I got online and I found, I think I have one here. I got online and found these really pretty polished stones
Oh, so
with the
great.
word hope engraved on them. I went, oh
Mm.
my gosh, that's
Yeah.
an actual nugget of hope. So I bought them. They're not cheap.
Mm.
And I'm like, am I supposed to be doing this? So I bought these stones and started carrying two or three of them with me in my pocket or my purse. And one day I was in a store, I was in Walmart, and I'm walking down the aisle and I see this older lady standing with her hand on her cart and she's just staring at the wall of items. She's just staring. And I immediately realized she wasn't looking at anything. She had been lost in a moment,
Mm.
you know, and the feeling that I'm very, very empathetic. And the feeling I was getting from her was sadness. And
Mm.
I just went, oh, reached in my pocket, grabbed one of these, walked up to her very quietly on her side so I wouldn't startle her,
Yes.
and said, excuse me, ma'am. And I held up my hand and I said, I would love to give you a nugget of hope today. She held out her hand and I just put it in there gently and said, I wish you a blessed day. And I turned and walked away because I did not feel, and I still very strongly feel, I'm not supposed to chit chat with them. I'm not supposed to get
Mm.
their story or their name.
Hmm.
I'm just
Hmm.
supposed to give them this. And I
Amazing.
walked away. And as I was walking away, I heard her say, oh my goodness, thank you. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Oh, that gives me little shivers.
Yeah. And that was my first nugget of hope almost 3 years ago. And
Amazing.
so I still to this day, and it's probably going to be forever, I will carry these with me. Always have one. I have one almost in every coat pocket that I
Of
own.
course.
And they're in my purse or I have one in my car, so I always have a nugget of hope with me. And those stories, those interactions, I would come home and hurry up and write down. Or if I wasn't going to be home for a while, I spoke it in my notes on my phone,
Mm.
met this woman. And there was no plan to turn
Mm.
it into a book. It was just something I felt that I was supposed to put down too. I was
Right.
supposed to
Right.
get those out, maybe for
Right.
reminders for me, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
And then I collected quite a few because I gave out a lot. I still do. Not as many as I used to. I don't get the nudge as strong, but for about a year
Mm.
and a half, it was constant.
Mm.
Um, and so I was like, well, maybe I should put those in a small book, like a
Yeah.
little 5 by 8 book.
Yeah.
And then the word kindness along with hope kept showing up. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do now? you know? And because I'm like, yeah, I'm the problem child down here. And so the book is called Nuggets of Hope, Cultivate Kindness.
Beautiful.
And we need to do that. And so I started researching kindness,
Hmm.
you know, and the whole pay it forward movement, if you remember
Yes.
that back in the day. And people
Yes.
still do that, which is awesome. I do
Yes.
it for folks,
Yeah.
at the grocery
100%.
store or the coffee place, and I'll be like, did the person behind me just buy one coffee? Because I can pay it forward for that, but I
Yeah.
can't buy 12.
Right. Yeah. 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 100%.
Not today. I wish I
Yes.
could. But
Yes.
so I started, I that's how I filled it in with those stories and then just little tidbits of, just how to be kind. And then I came
Yeah.
up with my own ideas. Well, why couldn't you do this? And why can't you do this to be kind?
Yeah.
Compliment a stranger. I mean, literally things as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compliment a stranger. And
100%.
I have found that that is the funnest one to do
Yeah. I bet. I
is to
bet.
compliment a stranger and you do it with sincerity. This,
Yes.
I was leaving, I was walking out of Giant Eagle one day, and this older couple had to have been in their 70s, both white hair, but the woman, they were both very tall too. I mean, very striking. They were a striking couple.
Yeah.
But she had on red patent leather knee-high boots,
Excellent.
a burnt orange
Yes.
skirt that looked like very nice wool.
Yeah.
Because this was like wintertime, and she
Mhm.
had on a red and burnt orange and like mustard yellow checked wool jacket and
Amazing.
a red wool hat and a
Yeah.
burnt orange purse. And I literally stopped because
Yeah.
she was so striking. I stopped and like literally right in front of him. And the guy goes, kind of gives me a look, and
What's
he was very
happening?
handsome too. They were a very handsome couple. And he kind of goes like this and kind of grins. And I sat there and did like an up and down to his wife. And I went, you. And I did this. I said, you have got it all going on right there. You've just blown
Amazing.
me away. That is the most amazing outfit, and you are gorgeous. You just stopped me in my
Ah,
tracks. And
so
she
lovely.
goes, thank you. And she was verklempt. Her face got
Yes.
red. She's like, oh my goodness, thank you. And her husband said, this is an outfit that she can still fit into from the 70s. And I think
Wow.
she rocks it. And I went, oh,
Oh,
she is
so
rocking it.
amazing.
And that was
Right.
just, it made my whole day.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
And
first
hers
off, to
and
see this
his.
beautiful couple, that
Yeah.
were obviously, and they were holding hands. You
Yeah.
know,
So sweet.
I'm divorced. So when I see that, I appreciate it and
Yeah.
say, good for them.
That's right.
Sincerely, good for them. Look at
Sure.
that. That is so
Yeah.
lovely.
Amazing. I
You know,
love this so much. This whole idea that, I mean, we've talked about it for years, but I think people forget that just something simple like that, just saying something to somebody is just like so lovely. I know I have sometimes walked by somebody and thought, oh, I'd love to tell them how much I love their jacket or their
just
dress or
do it.
whatever. And yeah, and sometimes I do. But it takes just a little bit of courage on your part to just say something to a stranger. But inevitably, that other person is like, oh, thanks. It's like, it isn't a big deal to do it, but it can make both parties feel really good.
That
And
can
yeah,
completely change their day. And
yeah,
I imagine that couple probably still says, do you remember that time we were at
yeah,
Giant Eagle
yeah.
and that young lady, or calling myself young lady, that woman, that strange, crazy woman. But
It's so good.
I don't have a problem doing that. I
Yeah.
mean, what took more courage for me was to start doing this.
Okay. Because that's like an
I
actually
literally
giving
had to
something
like
to
take a
someone.
deep breath and go
Okay. Yeah.
in through the
Yeah.
nose, out through the mouth. Okay, because I'm approaching a total stranger.
That's
I've
right.
never felt inclined to give it to somebody I know.
Yeah. Have
I,
you
I
ever had anyone like reject it or just be like,
Nope.
no, they're always open to it?
Every single person, male and female, without knowing me from anyone,
Yeah.
has held their hand out. When
Amazing.
I hold mine out, I know.
Yeah.
That's one thing
Yeah.
I didn't think about until quite a while after. I'm going, they don't know me from Adam, and they're just holding their
Yeah.
hand out to accept whatever it is I'm going to give
Yeah.
them. They don't know what I'm going to give them. I'm
That's
like, oh
right.
my goodness, that is something positive at work right there.
It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, you can try, I don't know, if you're a vendor or something and try to give free things away and people are like, nope, nope.
Right. No,
But
you're
in
right.
this moment, you're making that personal connection.
And the thing is, every single person I've approached, I have gotten a very strong feeling from.
Yeah. You kind of
Like,
have a sense.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very strong. And I'm going, okay, this empathy, that's what I call it, because I don't know
Yeah.
what else to call it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time being in groups of people
Mm.
because I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah.
And
Read the
and I
room.
try to
Yeah.
explain that to some people and they're like, "Oh, is it too close, too tight?" I'm like, "No, it's like I can
Yeah.
feel everything."
I
And they're like, "What are you
100%.
talking about? You're
Yeah.
crazy." I'm like,
No.
"No, no, I'm not. That guy
No.
over there is really, really angry. She is so sad. I'm about to start
Yeah.
crying. I don't
Yes.
know what's happening, but I have to go. I got to go outside or stand in a corner away
Yes.
from people."
Yeah.
It's very strong sometimes. And
Yes.
I've noticed that it gets stronger the older I get.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I have the
And yeah,
same thing when well, I was a teacher before and I could walk in a room and just whatever the energy was there, like you just take it on and you don't want to take on that negative energy or whatever it is sometimes. But you absorb it. And like I would be emotionally reacting to something that I didn't even know what happened yet, but I could feel
yeah,
the energy in the room. And it's really hard to describe because people who don't have that, um, can't understand it, but it's so overwhelming sometimes. I know what you mean. Like I'll have to leave a room. I have to leave a
yeah.
place because it's
I've
just
done that.
too
Yeah,
much.
I've had to literally leave, like get in my car
Yeah.
and go home.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think the same applies like when you're giving out a nugget of hope or you're complimenting somebody or doing something kind for somebody. It's that kind of energy that you're also putting out there, right? Like you're
Right.
that vibe that you're like spreading into the world. So it might be just that person or the people around them or whatever, or you don't even know. Like it could be that they go back
Right.
to work and they feel better, and now they're spreading that to
Yeah.
their
Right.
fellow employees or whatever. So it can have a bigger ripple effect.
And that's the hope. That's
Yeah.
because before I ever even found these in my head when I was like nugget of hope, oh gosh, and then I just immediately envisioned like I'm just a pebble tosser, and I've said that for years.
Yeah.
I'm just a pebble tosser. I just toss them out into the water, and it
Mhm.
causes ripples, and they're going to
Yes,
land on whatever destination they're supposed to
that's
land
right.
on.
Yeah.
And then this hope thing started happening, and I was like, oh, I am a pebble tosser.
Like
You
literally.
know?
Yes.
Or, when I was joking around with somebody, I was on someone else's show a while back, and they're like, so you're just out there tossing pebbles? I'm like, no, I'm chucking nuggets. I'm a hope nugget chucker.
So good. Oh my gosh, so funny. And your book is doing the same thing, just in a reaching more, like the ripples are farther because your those nuggets are there. It goes into readers' hands. They read it. They're now changed by it and possibly like sharing that or sharing your book or sharing those stories or
Or
talking about it or
coming up with
thinking
their
about it.
own way, coming up with their
Yeah.
own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so amazing. I think that's such a powerful way through writing to be able to reach a lot of people and spread that message and remind people that like it's because I do feel like a lot of these things, it's not that we don't know, it's that we've somehow forgotten that we know or we haven't
Yeah.
like paid attention to it or given it time or just paused or like there's something like we knew probably from children that like what a kind of act an act of kindness can do and how positive it is, but as we get busy and absorbed in our own lives I think we just forget about those really simple
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm hoping that not only is it providing something, because I've had people cry, just literally just
Yeah.
start crying when I hand them one.
Yes.
They just break
Yes.
out in tears. There was an older woman, quite elderly actually. I helped her put her groceries in her trunk. It was raining, kind of
Yeah.
chilly, one of those yucky, chilly, rainy
Yeah.
days. And she looked like she was struggling. So I went over and I helped her. And then I was like, oh, I have a nugget of hope in my pocket. And it was like just a last second thing. I'm like, I think she needs one. So,
Yes.
said, oh, here you go, sweetie, and just hand it to her. She looked down and just started crying, just
Ah,
started
yeah.
crying. And she was very tiny. She reached up and gave me a big hug. And as she's crying, she whispers, you are my angel today. I don't think you realize you are my angel.
Oh,
And I pulled back and I went, oh, I'm no angel. I'm no angel. And I started laughing. And she goes, but you're mine today.
yeah. Yeah.
And then I remembered, and like I said, I'm a Christian. So I do read my Bible.
Mhm.
And in there, God does place people in front of people for a reason.
Right.
And so there are such a thing as angels on earth, and it could just be one of us as a human.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
claiming to be an angel, nor will I ever. But I can understand that concept because I've
Yes.
seen where people are put in front of me.
Hmm.
Even in this kind of
Yeah.
atmosphere on Zoom,
Right. Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
having I've been on a show before and beforehand I was thinking I need to cancel this. I'm in such my mental space. There was something going
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
And
Sure.
it was just like, I don't think I can do this. And I was going to get on and sit there and say, I am so sorry.
Mm.
But as soon as we got on and the host started talking, it was all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and all of that
Peace.
angst went away. And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, I immediately thought, oh, I'm supposed to be here right now in
Yes.
front of this person.
Yes.
It was
Amazing.
just it was amazing shift that I didn't have to like work at, because I was sitting there thinking,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to work so hard to be,
Right. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. 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 I love that.
and
Yeah. That's so good because like I think there's so many times, like whether it's mental health or whether it's physical health or we're busy or we're tired or whatever we're having. And I've many a time thought, oh, I have to go do that, da da da. And like whatever it is. And your whole body is like kind of rejecting it. And you're thinking, oh my gosh. And then you make the most incredible little connections with people that you don't
yeah,
expect. And, or like when you leave your house, like I don't leave my house that often, but when I leave my house and then I meet somebody that's just so like, I would not have met them if I hadn't just taken that little step out of my comfort zone and just said, okay, well, I'm going to do the thing, even though like I kind of usually have a plan to get out of it, right? Like I'm like, I'll go for 15 minutes and then if it's not good, I'll just like say goodbye. And
wow,
I'm like
yeah,
there for 2 hours. This
yeah,
is
we're a
so
lot alike.
delightful.
We're a lot alike like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's me and the dog. So
Yeah.
I literally have to say, Kim,
Yeah.
go run an errand or something. You've got to
Yes.
get out of the house.
That's
You don't
right.
have to go talk to people or anything, but you need to be
Yes.
around
That's right.
humanity. So
100%.
there are times it's like, okay, I'll go walk around Walmart,
Yes.
or
Yes.
I'll go down to one of the stores, or I'll go to one of the thrift stores and just walk around and look at
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And without fail, on those days when I make myself, I either meet someone and just have
Mhm.
a sweet little like 2 minute conversation, never
Yeah.
get names or anything, but just,
Yes.
we're looking at something and we chit chat about it.
Yes.
Or I run into someone I haven't seen in a while and we end up having a 20 to 30 minute chit
Mhm.
chat out in the parking lot.
Yes.
And then inevitably I go home feeling better.
Right. Yeah. It's that human connection.
Yeah.
And we,
Even though we can tell ourselves we don't need it sometimes.
right. Yeah. And that it's too much. And it can be too much. It can be
Yeah.
too like overwhelming. It can be lots of other things. But like I think that's like in an age of electronics and AI and like you can doom scroll and spend so much time just like absorbing news or whatever. It's really challenging to be like, oh, and now that I feel so good about the world, let me go out into it. Like it's such a challenge.
I
And then
know.
you're like, oh, but people are actually lovely. People like the
Yeah.
vast majority of people that you come across are actually delightful.
Yes. There is more
Really.
good than bad. We
I think
just,
so too.
the media feeds us nothing but
Yeah.
bad. And that's done
Yeah,
by design. That is
for sure.
done by
Yeah.
design.
And I feel like even if you think of the people that we quote unquote call like bad eggs or whatever, like they're more than that too, right? Like
Right.
but we are so focused on the negative thing and forget about that person also has a family and is a child of somebody and is a father or mother and also has like there's so many dimensions to a person, but we tend to just be like, oh, they did that thing and therefore so
Or
it
that
becomes
person is bat crap crazy.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so a divisive
You do,
world. So I
you
love what
forget.
you're doing,
Yeah.
because you're like reminding people like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. And there's humans out here who are like, paying attention and just like
Yeah.
understand.
There's so many, and there's a lot of people out there doing something similar to what I do.
Yeah.
And I've seen it on YouTube, like the YouTube shorts and stuff,
Oh
people
yeah.
doing amazing things. And you're like, there's a lot of people doing a lot of really cool
Yeah.
things just to make someone's day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's what I'm doing. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's not a novel idea. Actually, it's should just be a normal human thing that
It
you do.
should. Yes.
Just be kind, because there's
Yes.
literally no reason to not be kind.
Yes.
Well, there can be, I guess, but for you to start your day off, it should be with the thought of kindness. And you know
Yes.
what I found, and I encourage people, uh, go volunteer somewhere,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then think about it,
Yeah.
because you're going to
That's right.
see, you'll realize just how grateful you should be for everything that you
Yeah.
have.
Yes.
And if it's, say you volunteer with an organization, it's like, well, this isn't really a good fit for me. There is a ton of organizations that need volunteers,
That's
because
right.
volunteers are so hard to find and so hard
Yes.
to keep. And
That's right.
I know that just from my veteran organization. We
Yes.
struggle to get volunteers for events and stuff that we do.
Yeah.
There's a
Hmm.
small core group of us that have been doing certain things for 26 years.
Hmm.
And we're the same people, 26
Yeah.
years. And
Yeah.
we're getting older.
That's it.
We're
Yeah.
getting older. I'm
Yeah.
coming up on 60 in a few years,
Yeah.
and I'm the youngest,
Right. Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah. I hear
volunteer,
that.
there, why not?
That's
You know,
right. Yeah.
why not? It
100%.
doesn't cost you anything, and you
Yeah.
more than likely will feel better for it, and you'll find out something positive about yourself.
That's right. Yeah. Agreed. And have a positive effect on other people around you. Like
Absolutely.
it's really great. And I know what you mean by these organizations. Like I've been involved with different organizations that there's always, like I don't know, 5% of the people who are in the organization actually volunteer to do the things. And it's always the same group. And like you
Yep.
say, they just keep aging and the newer folks are not necessarily taking those roles. And I
Yep.
get it. We're all busy. We all have things. We have lots of commitments and there's different times in your life where maybe you're not able to as well as another time, but I'm always just encouraging people, like, even if you can just do some small thing, that will help everybody's workload
Right.
come down and make it more pleasurable for everybody. Because at the end of the day, you want to keep those organizations alive and they
Right.
can't run without volunteers. So I don't know.
And,
It
if
is a
you don't like,
frustrating
if you don't
thing.
want to be around all the people, then volunteer at like an animal shelter or
Yes.
an equine facility,
Yes.
volunteer to go and muck stalls. So you're
Yeah.
hanging out with the
There's
horses,
would be
whatever.
great. Yeah.
Or cook, go volunteer to
Yes.
cook at the city mission or whatever. I live
Yes.
in a rural country town,
Yeah.
so I don't know what you call it in cities.
Right.
Where folks can get meals. Is that a
Yeah.
mission? I don't know what those are called.
Yeah. I think they're different in different communities for
Yeah.
sure.
But there are so many things that you can volunteer for. I
Yeah.
mean, so or join, like go learn something new. Learn how to
Yeah.
knit or crochet.
Right.
Learn how
Yeah.
to sew.
Right.
Learn something that is because this is something I actually want to do. I want to learn how to sew. I have a brand new
Yeah.
sewing machine I don't know how to use.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking practical.
Yes. Hmm.
It's something like, and I don't want to make clothes, but I want to hem curtains.
Sure. Right.
Or something like that,
Yeah.
or sew something that rips. I want to be able
Yeah.
to do that, but I don't know how to get it going. And so I just want someone to teach me.
Yes.
So do something like that you come out with a practical
Yeah.
skill
Yeah.
because you
100%.
never know when that skill's going to be needed.
Yeah. It's very true. It's very
Yeah,
true.
you just
It's so
don't know.
good. Yeah.
I learned, I had someone teach me, hey, I want to know how to build a fire without fire,
Hmm. Right.
you know?
And
Um,
did it go
and
well?
well, of course, I learned how to do it. It's not easy,
Amazing.
but I learned how to
Yeah.
do it.
Yes.
So there's because I live in the country, and if our power goes out,
Yeah. Should know how
I
to
got to
do that.
figure out what to do,
Exactly. For sure.
And so, I have to be able to cook. I have to be able to stay clean. Hygiene
Yes.
is the first thing that you need to be
Hmm.
cognizant of in a
Yes.
situation like that.
Yes.
So, I've learned over the years all these little skills, so I'm not frightened or
Yes.
overwhelmed.
That's right. You can take
So
care of
we have a
yourself.
big thunderstorm
Yeah.
or, tornado warnings and the power goes out for 3 days.
Yeah.
I've got people, and even in my family, oh my God. And I'm like, me and the
Yeah.
dog, we're fine.
Yeah. We're fine. You can figure it out. Be prepared. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, just be prepared. Don't be
Yeah.
scared. Just be
No,
prepared.
no.
But,
Yeah,
there's all
absolutely.
kinds of things like that you can go learn a new skill.
Yeah.
What if you
Yeah.
always wanted to do? Go kayaking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
Get
think of
in the
something.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of there's
So good.
all you have to do. It doesn't matter where you live, whether you're in a small town, volunteer at your church for something because
Yeah.
churches always have something going
Oh,
on.
always, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I
Yeah.
have a question about, because just kind of related, because you were writing nonfiction and then now you're dabbling into fiction. And so that's like learning something new because it's related. Like you've written, you know how to write, you've written a book, and now you're working on fiction. Can you talk about the fiction that like what drove you towards that and what that's about?
It's been a story or a work in progress in my head for years.
Yeah.
From my dog that I had before Dexter's, who I have now, but the dog when I had Digger, had him for 14
Yeah.
years. We, with him as well, him and I went on long walks every day, every
Hmm.
single day. Didn't matter the weather, whatever.
Yeah.
And we were always out in the woods or through the fields, and they were long walks,
Yeah.
and some days were longer. If the weather was great, I just put a backpack on with some water for me and him and protein bars, and there we went, just went
Hmm.
for a long
Yeah.
walk. And as I'm out there, it's so peaceful. And all of the sounds, because we would just stop and I'd sit up against a tree and he would just come and he was a really big dog and he would
Yeah.
just come and lean against me.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just, two friends hanging out in the woods, sitting
Yeah.
against a tree and just, watching the squirrels and chipmunks jump from branch to branch and chatter at each other and listen to the birds and the sound of the wind as it blows through the leaves and watching the leaves flicker in and out of the sunlight,
Yeah.
and the dapples that it would leave
Beautiful.
on the the forest floor and
Yeah.
just sink into that whole atmosphere. And I would often, look around and think, what if there's like actually wood sprites hanging up out on that top of that tree in that hole there that has to be a woodpecker hole?
Hmm.
What if they're just peeking out?
Yeah.
And it would just kind of, it was a very gentle, feeling. And I'm
Yeah.
like, just think, Digger. And I'd be talking to Digger all the time. Just think, Digger, we could make so many friends with all the little beings that are out here. And I would
Yeah.
just talk. And
Mm-hmm.
he'd just sit there and stare at me like, uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah. He's
I
into
get it.
it.
Yeah. Well, I think what he was saying was, you're just now realizing this?
Yeah.
What's
Hello.
your problem? You humans are so slow.
Right.
And I started writing conversations between Digger and Digger always was the teacher.
Yeah.
Like, come on, stupid human. Come on, really.
Amazing.
We in the animal kingdom have known this forever. Why are you just now seeing it?
Right.
And
Right.
so he was always teaching me, and he's like, well, of course, this is Digger telling me, of course there's wood sprites up there.
Yeah. Hello,
Duh,
lady.
duh. And his voice in my head was an older gentleman. He was always very
Okay.
wise,
Okay.
because he was getting up there.
Yeah.
And so he was I always jokingly called him the old man. And so that's how the initial idea started kind of
Hmm.
percolating. And
Amazing.
then I had to say goodbye to Digger. We all do. They don't
Hmm.
hang as long as we want them to.
That's right.
And I had all those conversations saved because I shared them on Facebook and I had them all saved. And people were like, you got to make a book out of that. And I'm like, maybe one
Yeah.
day. But I
Yeah.
still haven't been able to do it because I cry too much. I
Right.
still haven't been able to
Well,
do
but
it.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that you have all of that and it's there. So it
Yeah.
will.
So that's where it
Yeah.
was sparked, though. It was with Digger and I's walks.
Amazing.
And then it was, well, it was almost probably close to 2 years ago. For 3 weeks, I just sat down every day for 3 weeks and wrote this book. The book is written.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
It was almost 2 years ago, and I haven't done anything with it since. It's out.
Okay. Yes.
And I had met an editor at a Christian writers conference, and I sent it off to her and I said, could you do like a manuscript review?
Hmm.
I don't want it edited. It's not ready to be edited.
Yeah.
Just give me whatever it is you do as an editor.
Hmm.
And so she did it. I mean, I paid
Yeah.
her for her services.
Of course. Yeah.
But she read through it and she wrote me like a page summary, like a single space page summary.
Yes.
And then she gave me a page of, I don't know how many, it's probably, I think it's 22 or 27, something like that, bullet points of
Yeah.
things I have to work on because I've never
Okay.
written fiction.
Yeah.
So I have characters, I have people talking to each other. And, they have backgrounds. These people have backgrounds. And,
Yeah.
so he runs the hardware store and he's 37 years old. Well, where'd he come from?
Right. Right.
And, the older gentleman who helps him out, who's not his uncle or his grandpa, what everybody thought he was, where'd he come from? He
Yeah.
just showed
Yeah.
up one day. Well,
Right.
what's his story? And then
Yes.
you have the wood sprites,
Yeah.
and there's a hierarchy in the wood sprites.
Yes. Of course.
And then, of course, you have the very wise one, which is Digger.
Yeah.
He's in the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
And he's the intermediary between the woodland creatures
Yes.
and the humans.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So
So
good. It's a
and that's
work in
been in my head more
progress.
and more lately. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I'm supposed to get back to it,
Yeah. Yeah. It
because there
sounds
was
like
things
you
in
get a
there
lot of,
learning. I don't like, I think you and I had talked about it on my show. I was struggling with the points of view because I didn't understand what that meant.
Right.
I had
Hmm.
too many in
Yes.
one chapter.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I guess, and I didn't realize this because I just wrote it and I sent it. I'm like,
Yes. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
edit it. This is
Yeah.
crap. I know it. Just give me a review
Yeah.
if you think it's a good idea. It could be a
Right.
decent book. I
Yes.
mean, her whole summary was, this is a very nice book, and you got really
Yeah.
cool ideas, and I love a couple of your characters, and the best
Yeah.
friends, their rapport is just, it had me laughing out loud. So
Yes.
this is great, and I
Yeah.
love the wood sprites, but,
Yeah.
and then
No,
dot,
that's
dot, dot,
good.
dot, 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 dot. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is exactly what I needed to learn.
Yeah.
So I have to
That's
learn
great.
some of the stuff that she's telling me I need to work on. I don't even know what
Yes.
it means. So I have to
Yes.
learn how to do it.
Amazing. I love
So,
it.
and I think it's exciting.
I think so too. And I love
Yeah.
that you gave it to somebody in that really raw early form to say, okay, this is the idea. Like, am I on the right track here? Is this a good idea? And that you now have sort of, like a parameters about like sort of guidelines about where to head and what to learn and like what to go look for next. And, like whether it's a webinar on point of view or whatever it is, like you're
Right.
going to start to absorb all the information and knowledge out there, but you don't know what to ask unless you like, we don't know what we don't know. Right. So
Right.
now you kind of
Exactly.
have a really great starting point.
And
So
I
that's
need to
really
learn a
fun.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I'm looking at it as fun because I
Yeah.
certainly didn't take any of what she told me negative or anything. Because
Yeah.
I said, rip it apart. Tell me what I need to do.
Yes. Yeah.
And at one point, she said, you introduced this character in this one chapter, and then like three chapters later, you introduce him again. Did you mean to do that? And I went, well, no, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't.
Right.
So I
Yes.
mean, I'm like rookie mistake. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Um,
It
but
happens.
but it was positive because she said, your two best friends, I just love them. They had me laughing out
Yeah.
loud. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that works then.
That's
Then I
right.
did something, good. And she
Yeah.
said, this is actually a very nice book. It's a very
Yeah.
sweet book. And I think
Yeah.
that there's a place for it.
Mhm.
And she goes, I can also see this being a series.
Right.
So she
Right.
was very positive, just
Yes.
saying, she goes, I know, and you already knew before you sent it to me, you needed a lot of work because I'm
Yeah.
not trained in any of this.
Yes.
And she
100%.
goes, for not being trained in it, you did very, very well. For not
Yeah.
being trained in ever writing
Yeah.
fiction, she goes, you
Amazing.
did very well.
Yeah.
So
Great.
that was exciting to me.
Yeah. It is.
So
It's
now I think
exciting.
I'm just gonna take it chapter by chapter, I
Yeah.
guess. And
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take it chapter by chapter and
Yeah.
try and tweak it and think, is this the right way? And I'm gonna see if I can find maybe some paid courses, maybe there's a lot of free stuff out there
Yeah.
to
That's
watch
right.
too, to learn.
Absolutely. Lots of great craft books out there, lots of free content on YouTube. For
I
sure.
learn. What kind of learner are you? Because if I have a book, and
Yeah.
I have several books
Yeah.
on writing, fiction and
Yes.
nonfiction. And here's another book. My brother recommended it to me. And he goes, I don't know if it'll be helpful. He goes, but because he used to write songs, he was a
Ah,
songwriter back in the
yeah.
day. And he said, this is a book that helped me when I was writing songs. And it's called The Essential Songwriter's Rhyming Dictionary.
Oh, cool.
So
There
I
you go.
got that. And I'm like, you know what? I am so open to having even things like this sitting on my
Yeah,
desk.
for sure.
Not that I want to rhyme, but
Right.
there's words in here that it's
Hmm.
almost kind of like a thesaurus.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
so I like to think outside the box too, because
Yes.
I told somebody else that, they're going, what do you need a songwriter's book for? And I went, well, why wouldn't I use anything
But
that's
it
at my
gets your
disposal?
mind to thinking in a different way. It sparks your
Right.
imagination. Yeah, I do
Right.
think that's useful. Yeah,
Yeah, so I
absolutely.
thought that was kind of cool. So I literally have it right here on my desk, and I'll pull
Amazing.
it out and be
Amazing.
like, what's a good word? And I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
an awesome word.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I love the energy you're bringing to that project and just the idea that you have like you have this idea for a long time and you went for it and you got some feedback and now you're fully ready and wanting to absorb all the information, which is such, because I've met writers who will say my draft is like it's done and I don't want to change anything. And it's like this very precious to them. And but again, they don't see what they don't know. So they're not,
Right.
but not necessarily open to feedback. And that can be really detrimental to a manuscript that like a manuscript that can be really a great manuscript,
Yeah.
will suffer because the writer is like No, it's perfect. So most writers, I think, understand, no, that whole developmental, edit and all of
Right.
the draft and redraft, like so many versions of it will just make your work so much stronger and better. And people helping you are really just trying to help you make it the best it
Yeah.
can be.
I have a person that I know that has said, they're going to write a children's book. And I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And when I write it, can I send it to you to read? Yeah, I would love to read it. Well, I did read it and said, here is what I've learned over the many years that I've been writing.
Yeah.
And this is what was shared with me when I first began. And
Yeah.
so I shared very practical tips
Yes.
and in the nicest way I could, saying this needs work.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even if it's a children's book, there are
That's right.
guidelines and rules, and
Yeah.
there's age ranges,
That's
and
right.
you have to use the right words for the right age range.
Yes.
And so I nicely did it and highlighted and listed resources. And I took a lot of time doing this.
Yes.
And the response was, thank you for your honest opinion.
Yeah.
And I went, it wasn't my honest opinion. That was actually learned
Hmm. Yeah.
experience. That's an educated opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I was like, they didn't take it the right way,
No.
but you know what? That's on them, not me.
Yes. And it could also be that they had a lot to absorb in that moment and they they're not ready necessarily for that. And then
Yeah.
down the road, they'll be like, oh my gosh, Kim was completely right, but in the moment, it's
Well, and the
harder.
thing is, I know I'm right.
Yes. Yeah.
On
But
that,
they
I know, and
eventually
that
will
I
know
know
too.
I'm right. But I
Yes.
know it's hard to hear. The first
Yeah.
time I
Yeah.
ever wrote anything, and it came back from an editor, I had written a
Yeah.
chapter in an anthology. And so we
Yes.
wrote our chapters and we sent them off to whomever, was
Yes.
coordinating all that. And I got mine back and it was just ripped apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I was hurt. I was
Yeah.
personally, my feelings were hurt. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're saying I suck.
Yeah.
That
No.
was my thought.
Yeah.
And then I talked to one of the other ladies who was also part of coordinating it. And she's like, let's get on the phone and talk. So
Right. Good.
she was talking me through it and we were going through it stuff. And then we got on Zoom and she's, showing me stuff, screen sharing and stuff. And then I was like, oh, oh, now I understand
Yeah.
why that was done
Yes.
that. I go, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that if I came across of unappreciative
Yeah.
or being just, wah, wah, wah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
go, I really didn't mean to come across that way. And they're like, no, you didn't. But we did have a feeling that maybe your feelings were hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were so nice and so gentle about it. But I learned so much from that
Yes.
very first time because they ripped almost every sentence apart.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
like, this is a great paragraph, but we need something that comes before it.
Right.
Well, how
Hmm.
did you get there?
Yes.
You just
Yeah.
jump there and all of a sudden you're there. That doesn't magically happen in real life. How
Right.
did you get there?
That's it.
And when I'm writing it, you're writing it and you know this, you're writing, it's in your
Yes.
head, you're doing it and you get it out and you're thinking, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Assuming everyone's going to understand it.
Right. Right.
And
That's
they
right.
don't.
Exactly. Yeah, and that idea that you have, like, sometimes we know so much of the story in our head it doesn't necessarily go onto the page. And when the reader
Yes.
they can't read your mind, they can only read what's on the page. But we know what we meant, so we do need those other readers to read it, to see what we're missing, to see where, like, the logic's not quite there, or whatever it is. And but, like,
Or
I
I
love
just don't
your
understand
approach
what you're
is that.
trying to say.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I just think that's a really fresh way of thinking about working with editors and other people, like developmental editors and all the people, because like, we can all have our backs up about, oh, our work is so great, but it's like, when you have those conversations with somebody or you get that feedback, your work, it can be magic, that relationship that
Yes.
you cultivate, and your words are
Yeah.
like, oh, like, and you can
Yeah.
see it. It's beautiful.
I mean,
It's a great
there's
relationship.
I firmly, firmly, firmly believe, regardless of what you write, have it edited by a real editor.
Yes. Yeah.
Not your friend, not
Yes.
your sister who's an English teacher.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's
Agreed.
all good. By all means, have other people read your stuff
Yes.
and get honest
Agreed.
feedback. I have found the
Yeah.
best feedback is from people I don't know,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
or that I
Agreed.
don't have a close relationship with,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know. And
100%.
I was just recently asked to be a beta reader, and I'd not done
Yeah.
that ever for
Okay, good.
anybody. So it was an entire book, and the book was so good. I read it like in less than a weekend,
Amazing.
and I stayed up way too late reading it. But I also found things in there
Yeah.
because over the year they jump out at you now.
Yes, you do. Yes. Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
they used the word that 3 times in that paragraph. That just complete, I had to stop reading it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had to like
Taking it.
mentally ignore that word and just continue. But the book
Yeah.
was awesome.
Amazing.
And she said, this is like the last go around. So I know there's
Yeah.
still a few things in there. There might
Of
even be some
course.
typos. And
Yes.
there was a couple typos.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like a novel, you know?
Yeah.
And
100%.
so I think I found like maybe 10 or 11 very small things
Yeah.
and sent them
Amazing.
off to her. And she's like, you have no idea how much I appreciate the time that
Yeah.
you put into this. Because I sent
Yeah.
it back like on an Excel sheet. And I mean, it
Oh,
was
that's so
all
kind. Yeah. No, it's super helpful when it's at that stage. And I think that's something readers don't always understand. A book goes like the writer writes obviously and revise and revise and write. And every time you revise, there's an option like an opportunity for another like typo. As you know,
yeah.
deleted and added and changed and moved. But then you have so many people who read it and give you feedback and proofread and do all the things. And still things end up getting
Yeah.
through it. And like we've, read books by, the big five publishers and things still get through, even
Yeah.
though there are so many eyes on the page. So every time somebody catches something for me, I'm like so grateful because I'm like, okay, great. Because then once it's published, it's harder because it's out there. So then you can
Right.
sometimes revise or whatever. But I mean, how many times do you want to go back and to fix that one little thing?
Right.
But yeah, it's incredible when you get
Well, I learned the
great
hard
beta
way.
readers. Yeah, yeah,
I put a book out there, did not have it like professionally edited because
yeah,
I thought, well, I edited it myself 4 times. It's good to go.
yeah.
I
It's
put it
fine.
out there and didn't look at it for a while. And then I went in like when I ordered like my proof
Uh,
copies.
yes, yeah,
So it took a few weeks for those to get to me.
yes,
And I got it. And this was like before I hit publish. And I got it. I'm reading through it and I'm going, oh my gosh, I
yes,
found so many mistakes. But
yes.
I had stepped away from it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you had fresher eyes.
Yeah. And so I was going through with a yellow highlighter and I'm going, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
Kim, you cannot
yeah,
put this out into the world. I mean, I was mortified at my own self,
right,
and
right.
so I got back to the drawing board and went through
Yeah,
page by page,
yeah,
line by line, and
yes,
made it a point to like you have to emotionally pull yourself back and read it as a
yes,
stranger,
yes, for sure.
you know,
Yeah,
because when I got that proof copy, I was like I was sitting here, it's just me, myself,
yes,
no one else is there receiving the book. And I know that my face was red
yes, yes.
because it was so awful. I mean,
Yeah,
I actually
yeah,
got warm. I'm like, oh
yes.
my gosh, Kim.
Yeah. Yeah. But it speaks to how brilliant our brains are because have you ever seen those posts where they've removed all of the vowels and just left the consonants and we
Yeah.
can read
And you
it?
can
Like
still
most
read
people
it.
can read
Yeah.
it. It's because our brain goes, "Oh, I see that pattern. I know what's there." So if you've written a book and you've revised and revised and read it and read it and read it, your brain knows what's there. It doesn't need
Right.
to fix it for you. It doesn't need to point it out. It just like you can just skim along it and you're like, it's good. And then you read somebody else's book and you're looking for errors and they come out at you like
They
they're so
jump.
blatant. Yeah, they jump
Yeah.
right out. So I mean, there's so much to be said for editors who like just take on that role, and proofreaders are
Yeah,
amazing.
I think it would be fun to be an editor, but I don't know if my brain could handle it on a
Right.
day-to-day basis.
Yeah. 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 I think
So
some
I
people
like being
just
a
love
beta
it.
reader. Anybody who needs a beta reader, let me know.
There you go. Yeah.
I like doing
Oh,
that. I don't know if I could be an editor. Well, I don't know
yes.
enough to
Right.
begin with to be an editor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I am, and I will always be the first person to say, and I've said this to many people regarding whatever topic they might want to discuss. I'll be like,
Yeah.
I am not educated enough on that topic to actually have a full-blown conversation right now with
Yeah.
that.
I love that because there's a
And
lot
I'm
of
just
people who will fake it. Right. And they don't know what they're
right.
talking
And
about.
I'm
But
not
I
going to
love
fake
that.
it. I'm not going
Yeah.
to fake it because I've had a
Yeah.
lot of, now this is just, politics, which I never talk. But, I've had people come up and they want to tell you their opinion right away,
Right. Of
those kind of
course. Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
And that's what I've been saying for like the last 2 years is, hey, I'm not educated enough on that specific topic
Right.
to stand here and have a full
Yeah.
formal conversation on it.
Fair.
So I'm just going to pass
Yeah.
on that.
Fair. Yeah. Respectfully, I'm just stepping out
And
away from
I'm,
that.
yeah, and in my head, I'm like, I am not talking politics
That's right. That's
because you're
right.
just almost yelling in my face right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just, that's how I handle that.
I
And
think that's
I
great.
found myself doing that with a lot, though. I will honestly say, I don't know anything about that topic. So I'm
Yeah.
just going to stop
Yeah.
you right there. I know nothing about it.
Yes.
You want me to edit your book. Thank you for
Yeah.
thinking of me, but I'm no
Yeah.
editor.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't have a college degree. I didn't learn how to do any of that.
Right. Yeah.
I know
It's
the very
wise.
basics.
Yeah.
Like
It's
if I
wise.
get a Kindle book,
Yeah.
I love my Kindle. I read so much.
Yeah.
But have you ever because I look for newer authors.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
Kindle Unlimited. So you get the free books,
Yes. Absolutely.
and I love that because I read so much. But a lot of them are actually a big majority of them now are
Mm,
self-published.
right.
And some of them are great. I mean, like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I start following them. I can't wait for their next book to come out. I'm like,
Yeah.
they have a great team behind them, or they're just
Right.
really good. And then you get
Yeah.
one and you're halfway through it and you're going, I can't finish this.
Yeah. 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 That's hard.
Like words are missing,
Right.
like entire words, or it
Yeah.
ends in half a sentence. Then you go to the next page and it's starting a whole new paragraph. And you're going,
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
Right.
really bad, big errors.
Yes. Yeah.
I just had that. I just had that in a book I found the other. I'm not going to mention who the author is, but I typically leave reviews, and I left a review and I said the premise of this book and the story
Yeah.
itself I think is awesome. Although
Yeah.
I won't know because I couldn't finish it because there were too many errors.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Really,
Yeah. Yeah.
really obvious errors.
Yeah.
Please consider having your editor look
Yeah.
at this again.
For sure.
And it was very
Yeah.
nice. I worded it very nice, but I'm thinking
Yes.
I would want people to be honest with me
Yeah. For
because
sure.
there are people like paying the $1.99 or
Yes.
$3.99 for that book,
Right. Yeah. For
and I
sure.
couldn't finish it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hate not
Well,
finishing a book.
no, I know. But it's a good reason for that author to reconsider how they're putting their books out, right? Like that they are getting an editor, that they do
And
get
it's
a
a series.
proofreader.
It's a 5 book
Yes.
series.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm
So
like,
maybe
I'm not
that's
even going
going
to
to
get the other
be,
books.
well, I've heard of authors also going back when they have those series and they know more and they have learned more and they are better established and then they go back and they're like, okay, reworking the first three books because now I know. And
Yeah.
there's something to be said for that we don't know, like we don't know what we don't know, and that they're working through that process. But at minimum, please get an editor
Yeah. And it
who
costs,
will
yes, it does
catch them.
cost money. And a lot of
Yeah.
times you're not going to make the money. The out of pocket
Yeah.
that you spend, you might not ever make back on book
True.
sales.
That's true. That's true.
Well, a
Right.
lot of times you won't.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think that's true. And I feel like I think there are different reasons for people publishing. Like it may, I think there are some people who publish because they want their family and friends to have it in a book form.
Yeah.
That there's something about that. Like it's just for them. There are some people who think, oh, if I publish this book, it'll be like, I'll make $1 zillion, which you're not going to, but sorry, sorry to break it to you. But like, there's so many reasons for people publishing and putting it out there. But I think we should be trying to put out the best product we can at any given time. And I get it that people have limited budgets and sometimes no budgets. And so, do what you can with what you have. And then if you continue and you grow and you learn more and you get better, then you have more resources,
And that's how my little journey has played out.
Yeah.
I had zero budget at the beginning.
Yeah.
Hence I put out a really crappy book.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But I put my all into it.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
when I got that proof copy back, I'm going, wow, your all was not quite enough.
I got some
but
more
I
in me. I got
recognized
this.
it. So, and I have a book. I think we might have talked about it on my show
Yeah.
that I put out years ago, and it's now out of print. And I look at it now, like the hard copy in my hand, look at it, I'm like, that was the most awful written book ever. I can't believe. But I got kind of
Yeah.
scammed, taken
Yeah.
for a ride from a
Right.
publisher,
Right.
spent a lot of money that shouldn't have been spent,
Right. Yeah. It
and
was one of those.
then was tied into this thing where I wasn't, I didn't have access to it. I couldn't do anything. I'm going, I want my book back,
Yeah.
things like that.
Right.
So I had to
Yeah.
wait a long time. So now I'm past the time frame. So
Okay.
I have the original that I wrote, and
Okay.
I want to go back, like you were
Yeah.
just talking about. I want to go back and I want to rewrite the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Amazing.
And it's all about veterans, and that's
Yeah.
very near and dear to me.
For
And
sure.
it's sharing the veterans' story. It's their story, and
Yeah.
the name of the book right now, which is out of print, but it's called
Yeah.
Snapshots, the
Yeah.
veterans view.
Nice.
And,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. Love
looking through
it.
a camera, and
Okay.
I interviewed so many veterans,
Yeah.
so many for that
So
book
good.
over a 12-year span. And I wanted to put them in a book, and I was very excited about it. And I was very naive about how that
Yeah.
process works.
Yeah.
Now, 12 years later, I can see, I'm going to see,
Oh,
oh,
bless you.
oh, excuse me. I could feel that coming on for the last half
Yes.
hour.
Okay.
Pollen, there's pollen going on
Oh, I
today.
know. I'm allergy queen right now. It's incredible.
Yeah. So I want to, that's something I really, and I've been feeling very nudged to get back on
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And even though I'm in the midst of other projects, that one's been coming forefront in my brain a lot lately,
Right.
saying you really need to, because
Yeah.
some of the folks that I interviewed that are in that book are no longer with us.
Right.
And some of them won't be with us a whole lot longer,
That's right.
you know,
Yeah. That's
and
true.
I would love to have that out there. So if their family sees it, they want to get a copy, and then they have that,
Yeah. So
you
beautiful.
know?
That would be so
Yeah.
great.
So I want to,
Yeah.
I need to get back on that.
Yeah.
And that's something that's just going to be like, I'm going to clear an entire week,
Yeah. Yeah.
do nothing, but I'm just going to be like, we're going to focus on this. You know what to do now. You
That's
know how to
right.
make it better,
Yes.
and you have everything. You just
Yeah.
need to, tweak each story, each chapter,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
know how to do it,
That's right.
you
And you
know?
have control over it now. You can
Yes.
do
And
it
I
when you,
have
yeah.
control over
Yeah.
it.
There's something to
Yes.
be said for that, for sure. For
That's
sure.
why I self-publish, because
Yeah.
I prefer
Yeah.
to have the control. Um,
Yes.
and also not that I make a lot, but I get 100% of the royalties.
Yeah. That's
Well,
right.
maybe
Yeah.
not
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. No, it's
Yeah.
not
There's a
true.
percentage for the printing and all the
That
things like the
that
shipping and
goes
stuff.
to the platform that it's being sold
Yes.
through. So yeah,
That's right.
but
Yeah.
it's at least I get 70% instead of the opposite way.
Exactly.
Me only
Yeah.
getting 30 and a
Yeah.
publisher getting 70. Now
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying traditional
Sure.
publishers at all.
Yeah.
At
Yeah. Yeah.
all. I've had a lot of authors on my podcast that are traditionally published, like with
Mm,
Simon and Schuster, and I mean
right.
like the big boys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how in the world did you get in with them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome. And I think it's very
Yeah.
awesome. It's exciting.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you have someone that's self-published, and it's just winning award after award after award, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
gangbusters,
Yeah. Crazy.
selling,
Yeah.
hundreds, if not thousands of copies. And you're
Yeah.
like, she's self-publishing.
Yeah. It's very strange, the disconnect between traditional and self-publishing. Like there's lots of hybrid authors too who do both, but there's something about the two that I'm just not sure why we're why do self-publishers know so much about how to get their book into people's hands, and traditional publishers, especially the smaller guys, the mid and small presses, just don't have that same capacity. And I don't know. I think it would be nice if we could all just figure this all out together. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways,
Why not?
it's such an interesting thing. And then can be very divisive too. Like some people, they will only read traditionally published, and a lot of people don't care if it's into yourself. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know where the divides come from. I think it ends up being, is it a genre you like? Is it a story you like? And hopefully if the authors are doing their job properly, they're putting a book out the best that they can, whatever stage in the journey they're at, but they've got it edited and it's clean as it can be. And, and then
There's an author, she's a self-published author. Pardon me. she wrote, I mean, dozens of books, dozens,
Yeah.
self-published. And she's very well known and she does very, very well for herself, self-published. She just had her first book traditionally published.
Okay.
And she's
Okay.
been writing for years and years.
Wow.
And I mean, and I just read this because I get her newsletter because I love
Yes.
her books. I read everything she writes. And because a lot of her books were only
Yeah.
available on Kindle.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't get them to hold them in hand, only
Yeah.
Kindle. And she's
Right.
self-published and she does very, very well for herself. And I'm
Okay.
always
Okay.
like, how do they get them out to so many people? Or she's spending a bunch of money on Amazon ads. I mean,
Mm. Yeah.
that's where my brain goes because
Right.
most of us don't have a whole bunch of money to spend on
That's right.
ads.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
For on TikTok or
Yeah.
Instagram or YouTube or Amazon,
Yeah.
Facebook ads, wherever it is that you do that. And
Yeah.
I'm often wondering, I'm like, how do they, she's literally selling hundreds of thousands of books.
Yeah. Crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's doing
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
it's been so fun because I've been reading her stuff for years.
Yeah.
And she writes in a couple different genres, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And I read them
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun to see. And then just recently, in the last few months, she said, I'm having my first book traditionally published.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Okay. Yeah. It's so fun to see
But she's been
how
doing
different
this for
journeys are.
years and
Yeah.
years.
Incredible. Yeah, it is great to see it, people trying new things and trying different like trying to I'd love to hear down the road how she felt about the traditional. Like it's just going to be different, but I think it might open different doors for her.
Right.
So that's interesting. Yeah, and people can do extremely well with both traditional and self,
And
but
there's
there's
so
lots to
many
learn.
self-published people that they make a living at it.
Yeah, they make a real living for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're self-published.
found the tricks.
Yeah, they're sitting in their extra bedroom like I am that I turned into an
Yes,
office. And
typing away.
that's right, typing away. And they're making a living, a decent living
Amazing.
at it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Well, on that note, I love chatting with you because you do have so many nuggets of hope, and it makes me feel like, okay, just like pause, calm down, pay attention to people, and spread that love. And I feel like in your book too, you're doing that, and that fiction. I think that's amazing. That is a great concept, and I hope that you do go and write that novel because I think there's something beautiful and sweet there too that people need. So I just keep on keeping on.
And
There's
there's
so much
some
to learn.
silliness in there too,
Yeah, I love
There's
that.
some fun little
Yeah.
quirky
It
characters in
sounds
there.
like
So.
fun. It sounds like fun characters. I mean, you can't go wrong with a dog and sprites. Like really,
No.
that's
Oh,
fun.
I laugh out loud when I
Yeah.
realize, oh, this one
Great.
wants to say this, and this one's going
Yeah.
to come right back at him, and I sit here and chuckle, going, "Listen to
That's the
that."
best, right? When you're really enjoying it and just
Yeah,
having
yeah.
fun with it, and it'll come through for the reader too. And it was so much fun to chat with you again, Kim, and I hope we can keep in touch about projects because it's
Absolutely.
been lovely. So thanks so much. Oh, please let us know where we can find you. I'll have it in the show notes, but where can folks find you if they're online?
Best place to find me is on my website, which is my name, KimLenglingAuthor.com. My podcast, Let Fear Bounce, is there. You can see other places that I've been a guest on. You can see what I'm working on. You can also meet Dexter because he is my office manager, and he screens all of the emails and such.
Of course.
And then he lets me know, this one might want to talk to this one. So you'll meet Dexter. He's the office manager. And yeah, that's the best place. And my books are on there. All my books are also there, all available on Amazon. And I have some journals on there as well. That I just do. I make journals when I'm tired of writing.
Right. Yeah. A little creative act. Yeah.
Yeah, just something fun. And I'm like, why not publish it? I know how to do it. Let's just do it. So it's fun. You make a few bucks every once in a while, not a lot. It's just fun.
Yeah,
I actually give those out free more often.
Nice. That's fun. Yeah. I love it. Thanks so much, Kim. Appreciate it. And thanks for all the hope.
Oh, thank you. This has been so fun. What a blessing. Thank you.
Thanks. I believe writers need sisu, strength, courage, and determination to get their projects done, and I can help you access your sisu. Are you working on a novel or memoir? You don't have to do it alone. Join us in the Women Writing Circle. We meet bi-weekly for 90 minutes to get pages done. Or consider applying for an upcoming group book coaching program to develop the foundational elements of your story in a supportive community. These 8-week-long programs include weekly coaching calls, goal setting, craft discussion, and personalized feedback on writing tasks. If you'd prefer to work one-on-one, contact me about one of my coaching packages at lisakovala.bookcoach.com. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule to have a coffee break with us at Women Writing. Don't forget to subscribe to Women Writing on Substack. If you like this episode, share it with someone who needs a writing break and a little inspiration. Happy writing! Thank you to Michael Jensen for his original music and editing, and to Mia Jensen for the logo design.